Peggy 12.
Greetings, brave adventurers and battle-hardened mercenaries. This is the beginning of our Frosthaven video series, a look at the gameplay essentials to help you take your first steps into the frozen north. In this opening video, we'll be creating our starting player characters, choosing their personal quests and getting their first items to prepare them for venturing into the cold. So let's begin by starting our new campaign. Before jumping into the action with the main storyline, it is highly recommended for new players to go through the training grounds where they will learn the very basics of the game. This includes camera and player character movement, controls and interactions, as well as combat and collecting loot. Once familiar with the basics, head over to the main Frosthaven campaign and let's begin the journey. There are 6 difficulty settings that we can choose from that will cater to both new and hardcore players alike. The settings will progressively increase the level of the monsters, experience gained, damage of hazardous terrains and traps, as well as gold received. An important change on story mode is that the player will no longer be losing cards on resting, while short rests will apply a negative condition called muddle on the hero. Additionally, all heroes will have increased health, making them more durable than usual. To begin the campaign, we need to create at least 2 mercenaries, but for the purpose of this video, I will start with a full party of 4. This will affect how many and how difficult enemies are on each quest. There are 6 starting heroes we can choose from, each having their own strategies, mechanics and skills to master. One of the more important statistics for them is the amount of health they start with. That determines how much of a beating they can take. The stats hexagon is displaying what this character excels in for each of the 6 important fields. This is based on the ability cards he has. Complexity determines the difficulty to play each character, and even with the starting 6 ones, it is very different. There are 6 elements in the world of Frosthaven: fire, air, earth, ice, dark and light. Some heroes and monsters in the quest can create or consume such elements to empower their abilities with additional effects. Elements can be an important asset in planning your next moves during some of the more complex battles. In this case, the banner spear has some cards that would benefit from using the air element. There are many events that can happen while adventuring in Frosthaven. The outcome of some of these events can be greatly affected by the player character traits and provide additional or alternative rewards. To familiarize with our hero, we can also inspect the cards that they start with and use this information to plan our whole group accordingly. The banner spear, for example, is great when combined with allies situated on specific positions next and around her. We can also read some lore about these powerful armored warriors. Now that we know all there is to know about this specific hero, we can give her a name and continue with selecting her personal quest. A personal quest is the reason this character joins the group, and after completing it, we'll leave it forever. This, however, doesn't mean that we don't get a reward for it, or that we can't make a new banner spear afterwards. The final step in the character creation is choosing some starting equipment. We are given 30 gold coins and a limited number of items that we can choose from. Now, the plan is to get the banner spear in front of all the action, so she will take some damage. For that, probably the best choice would be to start with some defensive items. So we are buying the heater shield and the leather armor. With this final confirmation, we have created our first character. We will create 3 more mercenaries following the same steps. I have decided to balance the complexity of the party by mixing some easier to play and some more complicated heroes. They all have their special mechanics and important abilities that work great with good positioning and relying on allies. With the 4 group slots filled, we can now start the campaign. Thank you for supporting the development of Frosthaven, and see you next time when we will do our first battle and hopefully live to tell the tale.